Hi, my name's Lorrie Popow, and I just came back from a special event called Pysanky at the Gardens. Because these were live events, the audio and video aren't studio quality, but I know you will still enjoy them very much.
Janelle?
Yes.
This is Janelle. Lorrie asked me to talk about scratch eggs. These are some that I've done. I just did navy blue because it goes with the bowl. You're welcome to look at them. I kind of do them like I'm scribbling or doodling. I don't plan very well, so. But if you do want to plan, you just use a single color dyed egg and you can draw on it with a pencil so that you have guidelines like you do with anything else. Anyway, the traditional tool is a wooden dowel pencil. This is a mechanical pencil that lost its graphite, and I used Gorilla Glue to glue in a steel. It needs to be a stainless steel needle, sewing needle. Regular metal ones don't scratch the egg for some reason, but the stainless steel will. But since I've discovered in my old age that the arthritis in my hands doesn't want me to do that anymore. So, excuse me, I'm now using a battery or battery powered or electric. Since then, one of our campers, I'll see her in a minute. She said she got this at a school supply of all places. I have no idea what they used it for, but it's an extremely sharp piece of porcelain. Extremely sharp. And it doesn't look like it probably cost a whole lot. So
It's a paper cutter.
it's a paper cutter?
It's a paper. It's a cricket.
Okay, well,
And it also
it
works
works.
really well for removing wax mistakes.
It works very well as a scratcher. Very, very, very well. I haven't done an egg with it though. These are some other options that are battery powered. Lorrie had. This one has a ball on the end and it does not scratch dye well. I've been using, I guess it's an engraver, and interestingly enough, my dentist saves used dental drill bits for me. And it doesn't matter that they're used, they work just fine on an eggshell. And they fit the small collet that goes, and that's what I use. And it's amazingly fast. I mean, it's like cutting butter. It's just, and I mean, you can shadow and you can shade and you can, and one of the most wonderful things about this style is that when you make a mistake, you can go get the navy and a Q-tip and you can touch it up and you don't see it because I am not digging into the eggshell. I'm just scratching, even though it's electric, I'm just scratching the dye. You can dig, you can do that. But if you just scratch the dye off, you can cover it right back up again if you've gone, uh-oh, I shouldn't have done that. And you can go to plan B easily.
Great.
You have to have a light touch.
Very light touch, exactly. And even lighter, and depends on how, I mean, if you look at some of these, some of them are actually this one's actually too small. It's a really thin line, and not everything needs to be thin. Sometimes you need something, just like the Kiskas, they need to be different widths, but they throw these away. So, I mean, I don't know if you can even see.
Yeah, those are
How
what they
little
call
that
medical
is.
waste.
Okay.
Yep. When you put it against the egg, though, it's kind of the side of the bit, not pointing.
It depends. It depends on what you want, because sometimes you want it thicker and sometimes you want it
Okay.
thinner. And
Okay.
yes, these are just some examples of some that I've done. Something that I did learn here. This will be a perfect example of this. I epoxied all of these, and all of them did just great. except these two, for whatever reason, the epoxy makes it bleed. Makes the dye bleed, and I've lost all the detail. I mean, from where you're standing, you can't see that, but you may be able to see that this is the same egg, it's the same dye, it's the same drill that did the art, yet it's blurred out. And that was the epoxy. I'm thinking maybe you would spray it first and then do the epoxy, and that might preserve the pristine edges.
You used epoxy?
On these I did. I'm very rough on my eggs. I throw them around, I haul them everywhere, I take them hither and yon, and I break a lot of eggs. So I found that they last a little longer in my possession if I've strengthened them. And Maryland has beautiful epoxied eggs. Mine are a little more rustic.
Why would epoxy run a dye?
I don't know why.
I've done 2 epoxy.
I don't know why. But anyway, I didn't have much to teach. It was more just showing you. This is also an option. This was a battery-powered nail manicure thingy that I used to buy them at Big Lots. Can't find them now.
What's the brand name of the one that you used, that you had plugged in?
Yeah, where did you get that?
This was on the internet at one of those woodworking websites where you would normally buy a turbo carver or those expensive. I can't afford that kind of thing. I had asked Sammy one year, I thought I'd get into egg carving, and this was $80. Yeah, that's what this one is. That's what this one is.
Mine is not.
Yeah. And this was my Christmas one year because I wanted to try egg carving, and it'll cut an egg. It'll cut an egg, but it doesn't do the fine. It's only, I think it's 33,000 RPMs, and you need like 600,000 RPMs to do the filigree eggs. And so I have to. Anyway, in the meantime, I had this, and when I got. When I killed mine, I did my first maybe 50 scratch eggs using my nail thingy, but I killed it, it's dead. Couldn't find another one. This one was Lorrie's. So I turned to this, and this one's wonderful. It's just a dream. To work with, it is just a dream. And another nice thing is if you have eggs that don't dye pretty, they don't dye pretty. They have splotches and boo-boos, and just get frillier with your cutting, and it just covers it all, and they go, oh look, that one's lighter, I bet she meant to do that. You know, it doesn't matter that the dye job is like this. It just doesn't matter, because you're filling it up with all kinds of little, and this one, I scratched this one, but I went back and dyed in with a paintbrush, and nobody can figure that one out.
Secret's out.
Yeah, secret's out.
We won't tell.
And I've done this one too, where I did a rose and then I went back and redid the rose with a darker pink and put green on there and turned it brown. You know how pink and green do together? Yeah. But anyway, that's about it. But I brought these for you to play with if someone wants to sit here and see what it feels like. You're welcome to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope this video has helped you. Please subscribe to my channel to get updates of new videos. Visit my website at lorriepopow.com. Hugs!